Welcome, everyone. This is Eric, Will, and Brad from the Mature Minded Gamers. We are back with another podcast. This time we're covering Star Trek Lower Decks, and we're on Season 2, Episode 1. And, I forgot the title because I didn't write it down.
It is called Strange Energies.
Very fitting title. So this kind of came as a surprise, right, guys? I mean, I don't think any of us saw Lower Decks Season 2 coming out in such quick succession after Season 1 just ended back in, I think it was December of last year, right? December or January, one or the other. And so, we got new. You know what? This year's flown, though. Now that I said that out loud, it has been a year, right? I guess this is on schedule, probably. That's crazy to me. This year has just went by so fast. But anyways, we just finished Discovery Season 4. That ended back in, I think, February or March when we finished that, and we've been silent. So we've got a couple of awesome trailers, one for Lower Decks Season 2, and then obviously the Picard trailers, which, we'll talk about that later. But first, let's continue on with our review here of Episode 1, Strange Energies.
Yeah, so the last time we recorded was January 7th, I think. So it's been a while.
I was thinking it was that Discovery?
Yeah, I think so. I was just kind of going back through Craig's logs, and I think it looks like maybe somewhere in January. So yeah, we must have left off at the end of Discovery Season 3.
Yeah, that was definitely the last one we recorded. I just couldn't remember when it was. Been a long time.
Yeah, how about that?
But we're back, and we're going to continue to cover all the Trek that comes out. Picard Season 2, we're obviously super hyped for. Strange New Worlds, we don't have a release date yet, but it's got to be coming up soon. I've heard Discovery Season 5 is right around the corner, possibly going to be even maybe next before Picard, but I don't know. We'll see. That would seem weird, so I bet Picard comes first and then Discovery.
Yeah.
Anyways, I digress. So this one starts out with Mariner having a little holodeck therapy, and she is missing Boimler. Obviously, that's kind of the main focal point. I think she's got some issues with her mom going on. It sounds like their relationship has been better, but you can tell she's really missing that best friend that she had in Boimler, and she's angry, and she's fighting a bunch of Cardassians, and escaping. A pretty awesome sequence right here. I really like the fight scenes and her escaping in the ship and her arguing with the hollow version of Boimler. So what do you guys think about this little intro sequence we had?
No, I wasn't actually expecting it to be a holodeck at first.
Yeah, I think initially I wasn't either until she called Boimler a hollow version of himself, and then I sort of caught on.
I'd like to call out to I'm getting flashed by lights.
Yeah. There are 3 lights.
I liked it as an intro sequence. Got a lot of action. We kind of see her kind of working out some of her demons, per se.
Yeah, it was okay. I mean, I think I kind of expressed this before we even started recording, or maybe it was the other day. But this really didn't feel like the kickoff to a new season. I don't really know what I expected, but I expected the beginning of this just started rolling. No lead up, no kind of reminder what was going on last time. I mean, I guess maybe it would have been nice to get a little bit of a follow up, because honestly, like we talked about, this came up so all of a sudden that I sort of kind of forgot what was going on.
Yeah, but here's the thing though, when all these are out, I mean, what are people going to do? They're going to watch it back to back to back to back. I mean, that's just the nature of what streaming is now, and is you just watch the next episode and then you just watch, you binge it, right? So, for us who are watching it, as it comes out every single week, right now, I mean, yes, it's been half a year or a little over a year since it came out. But, a couple years from now, when you start just watch the entire series and you see the bigger picture of the story, I hate those kind of episodes. I hate that filler, which I feel like, well, I'm just wasting 5-6 minutes of a video recapping what I just watched. I think it's just the trend of the digital world. Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, I guess I agree with that. I mean, if we're looking at this as something we're going to rewatch later on, I guess I could see this as just kind of being, season 1 episode, whatever, 22 or whatever it was. Then it does make sense if you're just, planning to watch them all sequentially.
I like a good cliffhanger. I mean, Discovery's been really good most seasons with those, and I know we've talked in depth about okay, they just went through this portal. What's going to happen? I mean, just about last season, and I love that. I mean, that's just great water cooler talk. And I think it's pretty valuable, but I do see your point, Will. You're absolutely right. With the new digital age of streaming, everybody just watches, the whole series in a 2-week period, 2-week span. and they don't want to wait. And I've talked to people before who said they'll actually wait for the whole season to finish before they start watching something for that exact reason, because they don't want to wait.
Right.
So yeah, that's a thing. All right, so we did end. I actually listened to our last podcast for Lower Decks today when I was mowing, and man, I kind of forgot some of the stuff that happened. It didn't necessarily have a big cliffhanger at the end, but Shax, remember he died, and they had a little memorial service for him, and we had Rutherford losing his implant.
Who? I'm sorry.
Sorry, I said his name wrong again.
Rutherford.
Rutherford.
Rutherford. Oh, that guy. Yeah, I do remember Rutherford. I don't know who Rutherford was, but
Rutherford?
Rutherford?
The robot guy. So he loses. Remember
There's
his
a
implant.
robot?
Oh my god, you guys are killing me here. So he loses his implant at the end and loses his memory, and him and Tindy have to work on the relationship. And we do see that, and that's actually one of the next scenes in this episode is him and Tindy and Mariner having a little discussion, and Tindy's worried because he is acting differently. He likes pears. And he's dating, I forget her name right now. He's dating this woman that he actually went on a date with in season 1, and they didn't mesh very well. And he tells Tindy that this is their third date and it's going really well. And you kind of think Tindy's a little upset about that, but she kind of still always focuses on trying to save him and doesn't want his brain to turn to mush. I forget what they call it, but she's afraid he's having a meltdown of sorts in his brain.
Right. One thing though that we didn't talk about though is at the beginning here you see Mariner and the captain having a conversation, right? And how they're kind of like cooperating now and getting along. And I think that actually is an important part of this episode for later on. Because at the end of the first season, I mean, that was a big deal as far as like she was the captain was gonna like start or listening to her and heed her advice a little bit.
Yeah, I remember she saved the day with her reckless ways against the ever impending doom that was coming on from the Packlets of all things. But yeah, you're right. You're absolutely right. That's how they ended that. And we even heard her talking to what's his name, Ransom, and you basically Captain Freeman telling Ransom, just let Mariner do whatever she wants as they go down for this away mission.
Right.
And so she's actually cleaning off some soot or dirt off the walls, and she unlocks some kind of crazy machine that ends up hitting Ransom and giving him the Gary Mitchell powers, which they actually referenced right before it happens, which is pretty funny. I like that they did that. And then Ransom, finally, we see he hasn't been too happy about this new situation with Captain Freeman kind of giving her daughter, free reign to do what she wants. And you can tell it's kind of making Ransom a little mad. He goes all godly and actually starts attacking the ship.
As a giant head.
I mean, that's how I would attack a ship too.
As just a giant disembodied head.
Yeah. Well, how would you attack a ship?
I think that if I were choosing to attack a ship as a Star Trek character, I think I probably would annihilate the rest of the planet and just recreate my wife and I on the middle of one small section, and then create this pretend race of people to come and attack me every now and then.
All right, Kevin Upridge. Good call back there. I like that. All right, so what do we think about this whole sequence? A lot here. Not necessarily full of content, though. But yeah, any thoughts on this?
I'm going to sound like a little bit of a broken record. I mean, I personally still thought that there really wasn't a lot to. I mean, maybe I'm expecting a lot, but there just really wasn't a lot to this. Like, we just tripped and fell out of a Cardassian sequence into basically this. I mean, she got permission to go down and start cleaning up some of the soot and whatnot, and she's got this random scanner thing that starts cleaning soot off, and it uncovers. I mean, there was just really no lead up or anything. I guess we don't really know what the Cerritos has been up to aside from catering and pandering to her daughter this whole time. I guess. I don't know. I guess maybe that's what I'm missing is a little bit of like what's been going on.
Well, I think that just stems from what this whole series really is. I mean, it's nothing but constant what's next. And it's almost as if Star Trek had ADD. That's what I feel like really Lower Decks is. It's just it can never really focus too long on one thing. and especially in this episode, really, it seems like the only thing that the whole Mariner story or arc of this episode is all just around her relationship with Mom and how Ransom is caught in the middle, right? And then the actual only meat and potatoes I feel like we have in this entire episode is how Tindy feels with Rutherford and the feelings that she has for, as far as like her not wanting to date somebody, him not wanting to date somebody else, right?
Yeah.
And
That's definitely
I
the
thought
big
we
storyline.
solidified, right? But I feel like we solidified that Tindy had feelings for Rutherford, right?
I don't know if they ever actually. I thought it was more just always a friendship. I mean, it kept feeling like it was going to turn into more. But even this episode, like there's a couple times where she kind of just said, I'm so glad we're friends.
Right, but it's just there's not any progression of story in this entire episode except for taking apart what they did in the season finale of season 1. So the season finale of season 1 was how the captain, we're having to have brain fart on her name,
Freeman,
the Captain Freeman and Mariner kind of came together, right? That was really the whole core of the final episode, and then we obviously Boimler left, and we lost the security officer, and that was really the season finale. Now this episode is really just, to me, just a constant, like, okay, the action, right, and not much progress. If anything, it's dismantling the final episode of season 1.
Okay, I can get behind that. Yeah, I don't know. Eric, you seem to have some thoughts. I can see some facial expressions on the video. What are you?
I predicted this at the end of last season that we were going to see a reset every season of his memories, and I still kind of think this is almost going in that direction. I did have a thought when I was watching this episode that maybe Tindy was going to somehow get reset at the end of the season, and they're going to have to rebuild their friendship that way. But I don't think it's ever going to progress beyond a friendship, to be honest. But I do think that's going to be the running gag, is one of them's going to lose their memory, and they're going to have to rebuild their friendship every season.
So his memory is going to be like the Kenny of from South Park.
That's exactly what you said in our last episode when I said that comment. It is.
Well, what can I say?
And I also
not consistent.
I do want to point out that I also predicted that we weren't going to see Boimler. He was going to be on the Titan, and Boimler. I mean, we got to.
Now I do remember doing this last season, trying to teach you to say Boimler.
What'd I say? I thought I said
Boimler. You didn't say Boimler.
Okay. My bad, Boimler.
Rutherford.
So anyways, I do, and we got a really short scene with him at the end of the episode of him just basically panicking at what was going on. So, I mean, I didn't really feel like that was going to be the end of him on the Titan, but you can tell he definitely is not settling in from that very short scene. So anyways, let's go back just a little bit here. We skipped some.
Okay. All right.
So,
all right.
So we get.
Well, so I'm scrubbing back through. Okay, look, wait. I'm scrubbing back through through the episode here, and we're to the point that we're talking about this episode now. We're already halfway through it. I mean, honestly, during the story, would this feel like we're halfway through an episode already?
Well, they're only 20 minutes long, though. You got to remember that this isn't like.
That's exactly my point. There is no story in this entire episode. It's nothing but action. Yes, there's that filler B story that we talk about with Tindy and Rutherford. The friendship bonding or whatever. But the entire main action is nothing but Ransom having these godlike powers and attacking the ship just to, again, disassemble the relationship that was solidified at the end of season 1. I don't really feel like this did anything to, again, encourage me to want to watch next episode, except for the end, which we'll talk about here in a minute, which you kind of already alluded to. But
I mean, there really wasn't much story advancement. So we had Captain Freeman talking to her husband, and he was saying how good of a job she's been doing, and if everything goes smooth on whatever planet they're doing this mission on right here, that she may be looking at getting a promotion. And so you could tell she was very focused on making sure everything went smooth, even though everything was not going very smooth. So we get a little bit of advancement there. She's kind of trying to advance her career, but I mean, nothing really meaty. You're right.
Right.
So we do get Tindy kind of chasing down Rutherford, and when he's going on his date, and trying to shoot him with something to try to shock him out of this brain issue or something. It kind of lost me a little bit. I need to pay a little bit closer attention to what exactly she was trying to do there. But we do, he kind of got cock blocked. I mean, he's got this. I forget the chick he's trying to date, but she's like invites him to go swimming with her and a couple of her friends. And, he's all excited about it. And Tenny's just chasing him down, puts him in like a force field. And she finally lowers it. I forget what he says to her, but, they basically kind of come to a truce. And yeah.
I think he actually lowers it, right? Because he's the one that put the force field and she's like, well, I didn't really think you wanted to be my friend anymore. So he lowered it and says, I'll always want to be your friend, no matter if I like pears or not, kind of stuff.
That's right. Yep, you're right. And then at the very end, didn't he even say the pears are bland or something?
Yeah. I mean, He did say that he was starting to realize that they were bland and grainy, but, I couldn't. He had a smile on his face. I don't know if he was doing that for Tenny's benefit or not.
Well, but they did say something about they isolated the neuron that was affecting his passion or his love for pears, and they fixed it. They did say that. So I don't like pears anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did seem enthusiastic. So I'm wondering if they're going to slowly work that out the whole season. Tendy's going to try to keep fixing them slowly, and then he'll
forget about it.
Yeah, he'll just lose it all, or maybe she'll lose hers, which would be funny too. So
so my prediction for next episode, he's going to like pears again.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right, so let's talk about really they kind of wrapped up Ransom. Nothing really special there.
Okay. Now that was pretty funny that the way to solve this problem was just kicking him in the nuts repeatedly.
Right. Well, because Freeman was giving him all the compliments and making his ego grow, and then
which was weird because she was stroking his ego, he kind of like was losing his powers, and then he should be in captain.
Right. And then Mariner's like, no, it's not what you need to do, and then she saves the day by kicking him in the junk, just like you said.
So let me ask you this: so when Ransom is attacking the ship, I mean, he like bites down on it and hits it with his hands or whatever. The shields are able to negate that.
Yeah.
Do you think it's because it's an energy, like he's projecting his like self, or you think that's physical damage to the ship?
Well,
because I thought the shields were more energy negation as opposed to actual like physical.
The shields can do physical things too. I mean, that's why they would engage the shields and stuff when they were going through like asteroid belts and whatnot.
All right, let's talk about this final scene with Boimler.
The best part of the whole episode.
Yeah, the best part of the whole episode. Honestly, like if I had to take away anything from the episode, it was that short cut scene with him on the Titan interacting with Riker. That was hilarious. Like that's how I picture Riker is like captain, where he's just like, well, let's do it. I don't know. Someone give me a thing and someone do the thing. And it was just, I don't know. I'm not being specific about it, but like that's how I imagine him kind of being captain.
Yeah, they definitely are letting him keep the cool, calm captain aspect that he had in the first season.
He didn't do the Riker maneuver. That's the only thing that I wish he would have been able to do.
Riker maneuver, man. I didn't notice that.
So do we think we're going to get more of this, of Boimler on the Titan, or is this going to be the end? He's going to be back?
No, I think he's going to be on the Titan for at least another episode.
I agree. I think at some point their paths will cross in a mission, and then they'll make it work where he's back on the Titan.
Right.
You know what I loved here? If the person at the helm next to Boimler, though, I wish that would have been Data. I thought that would have been cool.
Or at least another android or something.
Right.
That costs too much money.
Well, he didn't have to have any lines. He just could have been the animated version of Data right there.
Right. I
think that'd have been neat, but who knows? So, what do you think this alien race is here, though, that is sitting in the first captain seat? Or go ahead, sorry.
I didn't even see it. I didn't even notice anybody special.
Well, she's like a green-skinned, red-haired alien, humanoid.
Like an Orion?
Maybe, I don't know. You guys are
she might have been an Orion. She was like on there, and she wasn't there for very long. Yeah, she might.
Right. Well, and the other thing is every other person that is on the bridge that you see besides this one character is human or humanoid. There's no I don't really see any differences.
I see her. Yeah, she's got like half of her face is blue almost.
Right, and I was kind of expecting like maybe a Klingon or Ferengi or something.
Not a Ferengi. I wouldn't imagine a Ferengi.
No Nog?
No, Nog retired.
Yeah, something fun.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe like Worf would have been a good one to bring Worf back, since at this point in the timeline, Deep Space Nine is finished.
Did you listen to our last podcast? Obviously not, because I said I predicted Worf would be on the Titan with them.
So I'm going to be honest and say I have not listened to that episode for quite a while. I even think I'm the one that edited the last one because I think that was when you decided to like demod me in the Discord channel.
Oh gosh.
Man.
Yep, here we go again.
Jeez, you're never gonna let that one go, are you?
Probably not. No, because I think it took me a little while to actually edit it.
I think it was like 2 weeks.
I think you didn't speak to me for like 2 weeks either. So
you guys see what I have to deal with here in this podcast.
yeah. Well, so okay, let me explain another thing that I sort of like really freaked out over. So I was not really in tuned at all to what the release schedule was going to be for any of this stuff. So last night I'm watching Lower Decks, and we get to the end of Lower Decks, and it does the whole part with the Titan and whatever, and I'm like, okay, that was the whole reason to watch this show. And then immediately afterwards, Paramount Plus put down in the lower right hand corner, it said Picard, and all I saw was episode 1. And I was like, no freaking way. There's no way that they dropped this without talking about it, or that I missed the fact that this was coming out today. So I started the episode of Picard episode 1 and got to the point I was like, oh my gosh, they brought Data back for season 2 already. Dang, like. And then they started into it, and I was like, oh, wait a second. This is season 1, episode 1. Brad, you're an idiot.
All right,
That's
so
awesome.
my story on this is the fact that I could have sworn that we were going to be watching Picard episode 1, season 2, and it wasn't. I didn't realize it was Lower Decks. So when I was searching for it to watch this, I was like, oh, I'm looking for the new episode of Picard, new season. Couldn't find it, so I was like, well, I guess it's not out. Finally realized that it was Lower Decks came out.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
gosh,
go
I was
ahead.
gonna say, man, I am super hyped for Picard season 2 with Q in there and just all the potential. Man,
Yeah.
it could be so good.
Well, so
I'm more
so
excited
before
for Discovery.
I was gonna say, before we go off into our predictions for those things and talking about the trailers, like let's give this episode. Let's wrap this episode up. Like what do we out of 10? What's our rating for this episode? Season 2, episode 1, Changing Energies.
I'm gonna give it a 6. It was okay. Didn't really do anything. I was happy to have track back. So
Yeah, I can stand behind that. 6s would be a solid number for me as well. The only really saving thing for me was the end, and I mean, this episode was visually fun to watch. It wouldn't be something I would like. If it was on, I wouldn't turn it over or skip it to the next episode necessarily, because it had a lot of great action. It had a lot of constant something going on, something to keep you engaged the entire time. But there was nothing to draw me into why this was going on, So I would say a solid 6 for me as well.
I am going to just be one step behind you guys. I'm giving this a 5. I think that I had higher expectations for this. That's probably on me. I think that had they just stripped back a little bit out of any one of these storylines and expanded on any one of them just a little tiny bit, even if they would have done a little bit more fan service things, I think maybe I would have given it a better grade. But the thing that keeps it out of the lower 3s and 4s category was the Riker portion at the very end. So that's my thought here.
all right, that wraps up our review of Star Trek Lower Decks Season 2, Episode 1, Strange Energy. Check out all of our content on our website, maturemindedgamers.com. Thanks for listening, and have yourself a great day.
Make it so.
When I said to wrap up the episode, I meant wrap up the Lower Decks episode, not the whole podcast.
I didn't turn Craig off.
Oh, okay. Well, Craig, you're still there. So, hey, everybody. Welcome back to part 2 of this episode, where we talk about the trailers that Brad hasn't watched yet, but Will and Eric are going to tell him about them.
You haven't watched Picard yet?
Hold on, let me tell you a little something about Brad.
Another?
Yeah, you know Brad, right? He does not watch trailers. He does not like spoilers. So the fact that I'm sure that you said that Q is in there probably just blew his mind.
There's no way I could exist on the internet nowadays without knowing that it's going to be. I mean, pretty much everything is spoiled. Man. And that's fine. I've even read the articles on how they get away with John Delancey older, and the Q being older too. And like I'm down for it all. I can't wait. But
what was that?
Yeah, I have not watched it. That was my watch. I'm sorry.
Mm.
And that was totally me, but I'll let him take the blame.
Oh, okay. Well, I was smacking my watch too. Anyway, I am looking forward to Picard season 2. I don't think that we'll get Strange New Worlds before Picard. I think we'll get Picard first.
I agree now that we've seen the trailer. So wait,
Yeah.
are we going to actually do a podcast on this? Because I mean, I have a ton of theories. I've been waiting for this. Like, you're going to have to watch the trailer though.
All right. Let me watch.
I mean, we can do it another time. I don't care. Maybe when we get an actual release date for Picard.
Okay, yes, let's do an actual release date. Because if I see a trailer right now, I'm gonna.
You're going to shit your pants because it looks so good.
Yeah.
I have so many predictions. Like, oh, I can't wait.
Well, even just watching, like, in the background right now, I have season 1, episode 1 of Picard playing, and like it just got to the scene where he stepped into his little like storage shed, basically. You know, the Captain Picard Day and all the other stuff.
Oh yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah,
I forgot about that.
that's cool.
I mean,
Okay,
yeah.
If we're not going to cover it, then yeah, we could button up this episode and I'll edit all that out. And if you want me to, I will. I will watch it. I will watch the episode.
Whenever you guys are ready to do the preview for it, which I mean, I'm ready whenever. So whenever you guys want to do it, then watch it and we'll do it.
Watch what?
Picard season 2 trailer.
Oh, I've already watched it. I just liked him better in Stargate than I did in Star Trek.
Who are you talking about?
John DeLance.
Oh, come on.
He's just trying to start a fight.
It is what it is.
Okay, we killing Craig? We done?
Yeah.
Kill him with fire. Bush him like a